Alright, another vlog. Alright, back to back I'm doing this. So, if you guys haven't noticed, really the horror genre is on a rise. And I, for one, am super happy about this because for a very long time, the horror genre started like this, kind of stabilized, and then it just went down and down and down and down until it wasn't really horror anymore, it was action-adventure. And we're seeing a lot of games coming out, especially this year in particular, that are purely built on horror elements, and they're in their nature, they're true horror games. Or at least they try to be. Just this year alone, think about it. We had Outlast on the PS4, which really is last year's game, but if you had a PS4, it's this year. It was fantastic and one of my favorite games ever. For probably my favorite horror game ever made is Outlast, right? We had Outlast come out. We had the Whistleblower DLC, which really, it was a DLC, but in its nature, it was like a whole new game, right? It was like a sequel almost. It's not a sequel, but it was essentially taking place during the same time, and it gave you an experience that was equally as long as the campaign if you played it right? So we had that come out. We had Daylight, which was completely awful, right? But it was still another horror game. And we had Among the Sleep. If you played PC, you got Among the Sleep. It's still coming to PS4, but in the future. And geez, what's Alien Isolation is going to be coming up, which I'm super happy about. I'm super excited for that one. And we had The Evil Within as well. That's coming out. So. Is there any more else to... I'm trying to think. At the end of this year, is there anything really else horror-related? No. Alright, but still, it's like, a lot of these games I just mentioned are really built upon true horror elements. Meaning that, you're one person, you're practically powerless against the enemy, and you really have to take important note of resource management, right? I just got the latest... Here we go. I got the latest Game Informer, right? And I was reading upon this, and they have just a lot of great, stuff. I read the Alien Isolation, the Alien Isolation thing from last night, and they were talking about how, there's different elements in the game that really make it true horror. Like there's no automatic save point system. You actually have to manual save, and obviously it saves during levels and stuff, but each level is comprised of, there's little stations that you can go up to, and you save at these stations. And there's no like checkpoints really. If you fail, you start from the beginning of that level, which can be frustrating for some, but they're saying it's by design. And yeah, it's like you really play more cautiously, knowing that, geez, I just spent 20 minutes getting to this part of the game. If I die, I have to replay a whole 20 more minutes. I gotta find a save station, or I gotta not screw around, right? And it's like a completely different perspective. It makes things much more tense. And it was also talking about like sound and stuff, and how sound is really important, and how you can distract enemies, but also, there's different stuff happening, as well as, in particular, the alien here. This guy was describing this one moment in the game where he's exploring this room. He hears the alien walk by, who's literally, he's on the hallway right outside the room. The alien stops, looks in the room, right? He looks directly at him, right? The player. He looks directly at your character, and he was saying how when he was playing, he just froze. He didn't move at all, and the alien stood there, looked, and then continued to walk on, and didn't completely ignored him. And I thought that was such an amazing thing, to read when he was describing it, because I was like, wow. The game was very much about, okay, the alien is very much attracted to motion. And if you make a move, or if he senses a movement in the shadows even, he's going to come and freaking, investigate. And you're probably going to die. And I thought that was such a great, like, imagine the intensity in that moment when you're playing, alright? And you see this thing staring right at you. And if you make a sudden movement or anything, it's going to come charging at you. And the thing just walks on by. It's kind of like that Jurassic Park segment in the first movie where they're trying to attract the T-Rex's attention, right? And they're trying, and they take out the flares, right? And he throws the flare, whatever his name, I forgot his name, but he throws the flare off in the distance, and he's attracted. The dinosaur's obviously attracted to motion. He can sense that, so I mean, they have to stay completely still, and he goes after the thing that's moving until the dumbass behind him, you know, lights the flare and starts moving with the flare, and then continues to move once he throws the flare. It's just, you know, but that whole scene really reminded me when this guy was writing about this level in the game. It's just how crazy that must have been, the amount of intensity and stuff. And everything I've read about Alien Isolation, the people are very positive about playing it. They're saying it's, for the first time, the true Alien game that we've all been waiting for. And to be honest, probably considering the rest of this year and all the titles that are coming out, Alien Isolation is probably my most anticipated title for the rest of this year. You know, being that I'm a fan of the films and I really enjoy them, and you know, this game, I'm really going to see a scene from it. I'm really going to enjoy. Then we have The Evil Within, which is a very different game. It's made by, you know, Shinji Mikami, who made the Resident Evil franchise, and I haven't gotten to actually that interview yet because that's the next page after Alien Isolation. I was actually going to read that later tonight. So, but I'm looking very, very different perspectives on The Evil Within, because a lot of people are saying it's boring, and then some people are saying, oh no, it's fun. So it's just a different, you know, a different type of player, I guess. I think The Evil Within is going to be a very different game. I think there's going to be I think it's going to be a rather frustrating game, but also static. You know, very static in type of, okay, you're in a hallway, you can't really do much, and you have to really aim your shots. And I think a lot of people are really going to find it iffy. You know, I think we're going to have a torn audience. Some people are going to really like it, some people are going to really not like it. So, but this whole purpose of the video was just to explain to you guys that really the horror genre is on the rise, finally, and we're just trying to see real, true horror games that are about resource management, that aren't about action, and that are about stealth and very and use of cleverness, you know, and just getting things right, you know, like planning out your moves, being strategic about your approach, and that's just really, really awesome. I'm super excited. Now, I'm a person who I'm scared very easily, right? Because I'm not into the whole. Before I wasn't really into the whole horror, you know, thing. So I get scared very easily, right? Like any standard jump scare would probably make me jump a little bit. So, you know, when I played, to put it in perspective, when I played PT, right, I pretty much couldn't. I'm not gonna say I couldn't sleep, but it freaked me out and it stayed with me. Where for about 2 weeks, I just kept thinking, I kept thinking about the game and going back to it, and because it was so freaky, you know. And PT is, you know, different opinions based on it, but very much it relies on its atmosphere, and it does have a lot of jump scare moments, you know, a lot of it. But at the same time, a lot of it is kind of psychological, where you're like, oh my god, is something going to be right around the next corner, and you don't know. And if you saw the Silent Hills, you know, the new trailer that came out during TGS, you know, it looks to be very, very similar. You know, very realistic, very detailed, and things are just going to be coming at you, and it's crazy. So, my dog's wailing in the background for some reason. But the horror genre is coming back, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to play some of the upcoming games that are, you know, are going to be out, and I'm just really happy to finally, you know, to be able to see the horror genre, you know, thrive again. I think after Resident Evil 6 and how horrible Resident Evil 6 did, a lot of people realized that, you know, maybe we can just go back. And I think with the success of games like Outlast, in particular, a lot of people were like, wow, we really got to step it up. If an indie developer studio can do that and they sold well, then we can do it too. And, you know, we're seeing a really nice rise in the you know, we're seeing just a rise in just the amount of horror titles, but also how they're true horror titles, and that's what I'm super excited about. That dog has to shut up. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Horror genre is back. Super excited about it, and yeah, I guess the next thing I'm gonna be playing is Alien Isolation, which I can't wait for, and The Evil Within is only a week after that. So we'll enjoy it. All right. See you guys later. Have a good day. Let me know what you guys think about horror games in general. What are some of your favorite horror games? All right, bring them back. I want to see some of these series make a return, like a reboot or something like that. That'd be pretty freaking awesome. So, all right, talk to you guys later. Bye.